tuned for sports.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean, the dream.
It is Sunday, October 1st. We've made it to October. Fall is officially here. Do you love it?
September's history?
Bye-bye, September. We don't need you no more.
I think I like that.
I like October, too. It
I
feels
need
good.
that.
I know.
Well, I've told you before I'm a fall guy, and September is one of those fall months, but had better Septembers, but let's hope for a good October.
Yeah, October this is going to be our month. I feel good about it. And, got Halloween, so I know you'll be dressing up. And
wow. We still had a great string of shows, but I'm saying, outside of the studio, it's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster.
We've been all over the place.
But we're going to turn the corner here.
Yeah, so October 1st, we're welcoming it. I mean, I don't like that it's getting darker earlier in the day. Not a fan of that. And I did have a question. I was with my hairdresser the other day. Are we pushing back the clocks again? Are we going to fall back? Like, are we doing that thing?
Yeah, so wait a minute. So now it gets dark earlier, so you lose an hour. You're going to lose an hour's sleep. I'll make it up somewhere else. But
no, it's fall back, spring ahead. I don't know. The point is, are we doing that? Or is this the permanent clock? I didn't know if this was like the permanent clock. Like, I thought that we weren't supposed to. I said clock. Yeah, I didn't know if they were resetting it, like doing.
Well, I got to know this because I've got baseball playoffs.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Oh,
so
good.
I haven't played. So
yep.
I have been hurt. So
right.
But we have playoffs now, and the rain kind of threw a monkey wrench into everything. So no 10 on Sunday this morning, right to baseball. So I got a playoff game because of the rain out. So I got to go up to Swansea for a playoff game.
Are you okay with that? At least you're close.
I have to. Well, wait a minute. Can I do it from here?
Yes.
Because I have to go all the way back to Johnston first, and then get on the highway all over again.
I only know it from one direction. You can put in your phone, right?
What?
You can put the directions in your phone. You know that, right?
From the studio?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Okay. We'll figure this out. Let's kill it here first, and then hopefully we'll go kill it on the field. We won game 1, 10-0 versus the Colt 45s.
Beautiful.
We win this game. We're in the finals, which should take place by the time we do our next show next week on the 8th. Season should be over, and I'm hoping that we'll be
champions.
We'll be the last team standing. I hope.
What do you get as winners? A ring or a sweatshirt or like a commemorative
nice
cup?
Job, guys.
Bragging rights, that's it?
Well, I mean, there's no trophies anymore. That ship has sailed.
Was it like a case of beer?
No, we do that anyways. Whether if we lose, we're gonna do the suds. No, usually like there could be something where like we all pull together and we get like maybe windbreakers and have like sort of like a little
patch.
Yeah, patch done for like champs. Somerset Braves 2023. But it's my 4th year with the team. We've been in the hunt every year for the championship. So we won the division at 14-4. So
beautiful.
We're hoping for good things here. But obviously with all the rainouts during the season, we're kind of limping to the finish line here. I'm not saying get it over with. Don't have a Florida trip, so I'm not in a rush to shut it down, get back. This is it right here. So this is the end of the line.
What's the spread on your game today? I'd like to donate $2.
2 beans to the Braves. Listen, you can lay it in on us.
Yeah?
Right? Yeah, we got a pretty good chance. Now
nice.
to win the whole thing, I'm not sure. There's a couple of teams that if they've got their guys there. I think I told you this a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
They may be kind of coasting through the regular season, but all of a sudden this guy's eligible, that guy's eligible, and it's a different ball game. And all of a sudden you have one of those games where it's a 2-1 game. It can go either way because usually we're used to scoring 8, 9, 10 runs a game.
Right.
So I don't think I'm going to factor into it. And if I get in, to pitch at all, it would be in like a low leverage situation. I hate to say it, but more like a mop up thing. I don't see myself getting the ball in a pressure situation after the last couple of games where I was ineffective because of health.
Because of health.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so. You were like on the IR.
Well, it's crazy because the arm held up this year.
Yeah.
Of course, second time around sports with the resistant baseball, it really helped.
That's great.
But it was a leg issue.
It was the lower region.
The inability to finish my pitches.
Yes, that's what it was.
So when you're throwing with all your arm and you're not throwing that hard, it becomes very, very easy to see the ball for the opposition.
Oh, no.
Throwing curve.
There we go.
We
had to.
You would do.
All right, so we have a lot to talk about, obviously. Tons of football to get to. I don't think I have anything else for you, so I think we should just get right into it, right?
Let's do it.
Gesicki moves right to left. Jones with a play fake. And a throw down the right seam. It's caught by Pharaoh Brown. Racing to the 20. 15-10. Chased by Amos at the 5. Stretching out to the pylon. A dive for a touchdown. Patriots.
got to be kidding me.
The Jets backed into a 3rd and 15 at their 5. Quarterback taking the snap. 4-man rush. Push up the middle. Wilson's kick. And Wilson goes down in the end zone. Judon is there for the sack and the safety.
Now wrap her up.
2 deep safeties for the Patriots, and I mean deep at the 5. Wilson scrambles to the right, pulls up, steps up. He lost a high throw toward the end zone. That ball will come down in the crowd. It's batted away. It's deflected away.
Oh, my God.
And nearly caught by Cobb on the goal line. It's incomplete, and the Patriots win it.
Woo!
My God.
My God is right. The end of that game was like something else.
A little dicey.
A little bit.
Okay, Pats 1 and 2. They improved to 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Can I reflect on that first sound, that first clip?
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't play fantasy football, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't think anybody in the country had Farrell Brown on their fantasy team as their tight end. I don't think he was a flex. I don't think he was in anybody's lineup.
No.
I don't think he's on anybody's bench. I don't think he's even on anybody's waiver wire.
I can't believe he's on the team.
Well, so he came in late. Okay, he came in late to camp. A couple of guys.
I thought he was in the game.
No, a couple of guys that got hurt during camp. The kid Anthony Furska that they got from Tennessee, he got hurt. He was the guy that John Saranides thought maybe could break through as a 3rd tight end between Gesicki and Hunter Henry. A little compliment, but it turned out to be Farrell Brown with his the Pats lined up 3 tight ends there. They came out with 3 tight end set, and it was a play that worked. And by the way, Sauce Gardner, I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit about him at some point. He blew that play on that coverage, and he's the guy.
Because he's like, who's this guy?
I don't want to hear about where he got hit in the jewels by Mac. Bottom line is he blew the coverage 58 yards to the house, and that was basically the game when you really think about it. And you felt like at 10-0 that the Pats had this game because their defense was terrific. And I don't know if it's because the defense was great or Zach Wilson's just that bad, maybe a combination of the two.
He is. Who gets a safety? Throw it anywhere. Just throw it anywhere.
Just chuck it.
Like, anywhere. He's
not a pro quarterback.
No,
he
he's
just
terrible.
can't play the game.
It's ridiculous. And at first I was watching the game surprisingly at a bar, and when I saw Brown, I just saw the back of the jersey Brown, and I'm like, that can't be Trent Brown. No. I was just like, they're having the big man go, and then everyone at the bar was like, who's this guy? No one knew who he was.
You usually always need a 3rd tight end, but usually you see them more in a blocking scheme or somewhere protection for the quarterback. You don't see him just dot out, and it was a play that worked. It looked nice, though, didn't it?
It did.
It's just amazing how they can't
reflect on that.
Well, they can't execute, those throws down the sideline by Mac, one on the left side, one on the right side, late in the game when they needed like maybe 1 first down where they could have just nailed on it.
Yeah.
Those 2 plays to Juju Smith-Schuster were awful. There was no chemistry. Everybody said Mac didn't have any oomph under the ball. Schuster looks like his footwork is terrible.
Yeah.
He's either not healthy or he just can't play anymore. We've talked about that knee that's ready to just go, and it just looked bad. It just there's no chemistry there. But for one play, we saw it on the Patriots side, a big touchdown. And I've never seen a week after a victory where you're not really getting any kind of gauge on what it meant. Zach was so bad. Zach Wilson was so bad. That's what everyone was talking about. It seemed like even local media seemed like they were just piling on. They came right out of the gates talking about how bad Zach Wilson was. Like they were mad almost.
I know, because
people were mad.
The team has to be mad. I actually do have a clip from Saleh talking about Wilson.
You'll have the opportunity to look at the film, get the pulse of the team, talk to your coaches. Why you said, he's fine. Why is it so definitive?
Right now, Zach is the best player in the he's who gives us the best chance to win. And, so that's basically that would be the cleanest answer I could give you.
The best, because he's the only one.
Then
there has
you
to be
have
somebody
no chance
else.
to win,
There's
then.
no way you're winning.
No.
Jets fans have to be so frustrated because the defense is so good and they have great receivers and the ball can't get to them.
Yeah, and of course, everybody was bragging about, well, he didn't throw any picks. Well, you didn't throw the ball down the field. You didn't let him really do anything. You're throwing check downs, and he couldn't even get the ball out of his hands. He just can't see the open guy when there is someone open.
Correct.
And you saw turmoil on the sidelines with Garrett Wilson. You saw the kid Carter, the backup running back. Looks like there's a lot of friction. This thing's going to boil over. I don't know if it's going to cost Saleh his job. I don't know what's going on here, but at some point, even if you're thin in the backup position, Tim Boyle's a guy that I guess he played with Rodgers in Green Bay. He's got a pretty good arm. We saw him in Hard Knocks. You got to put somebody in there. I know they signed Trevor Siemian off the street during the week. I don't think he's the answer, but he was there before, I think, in 2019. He was a decent backup a few years ago. The play for them, I know they were all in on Rodgers. Injuries happen. They should have just re-signed Mike White, the backup.
Yeah.
You got 2 years, $8 million from Miami. Look at Miami's situation now. You got Tua, who's lighting up the scoreboard. We'll talk about them later, dropping a 70 spot. And then, of course, if Tua were to go down, you got a guy like Mike White who can manage it. He's an upgrade from Skylar Thompson last year. So that's where the Jets kind of dropped the ball, and they were all in with Rodgers, which I get that. But you have to be thinking about a backup plan, and Zach Wilson's not it. And I'm tired of hearing about he's our guy. No, he's not your guy because you went out and got Rodgers because he wasn't your guy. So now all of a sudden, so he's your second guy?
I'm wondering if one of his players, like his teammates, are just going to hurt him so he doesn't play. Like push him down, like do a Nancy Kerrigan situation.
Oh, this is terrible.
Take out the knee.
Oh, Galugli?
Seriously, someone needs to do. And I don't know why I'm so invested in the Jets. I just feel bad. Like they're really. Do they have no more money? That's my question. Like, why can't they get anybody?
Well, Rodgers came in and deferred a lot of his money. He kicked it down the road. So I guess, millions of dollars. So I don't know if that opens up. Don't forget, you blew the pick here. number 2 pick in the draft out of BYU. It's clear that he's a bust.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't think a change of scenery is going to help. He just doesn't have it. He doesn't have the measurables. I don't like his size.
Yeah.
I mean, he can move around a little bit, and they say he's got a great arm, but I just don't
Where
see
is
it. I mean, on a 4th and 10 with everything on the line, he throws a 3-yard check down. I didn't get that one.
I don't know. With his headband, I just say sweep the leg. You know what I'm saying?
Sweeping legs over here.
He looks like the Karate Kids. So that's not going to work. Also, he has a very Cabbage Patch face. Like he's probably a nice person, maybe. I don't even know. But he needs to go if they want. It's just bad for football. Like all those talented players on the Jets, and none of them are getting the ball because of him. So they need to figure that out. But I know we're Patriots fans, which would be surprised because we're talking about the Jets so much. Do you want to look ahead to this week after we thank our sponsor? We're going to talk about the Gentleman on East Street in Cranston. Game day is today, 1 o'clock. That's when they open. And you know what? They have those Bloody Mary specials, Stoli Jalapeno. Daytime games are catered by Lou Umberto's. And then you can have all that fabulous food. You just got to purchase a cigar. And why wouldn't you? Because the Gentleman is a place where you go to sip, smoke, and socialize, premier cocktail and smoking lounge, cigars, stylish atmosphere, cigar dinners, and so much more. You can find out more at thegentlemancigar.com. All right, let's go ahead to the Pats Dallas today. The spread is 6.5. I do have some audio on the Dallas prep.
I mean, there's a lot of film to look at. Mike's been there this is his 4th year. Dan's been there. Bones has been there. Prescott's been there. Lamb's been there. Pollard's been there, Parsons, Lawrence. I mean, a couple guys that are new this year, like Gilmore, who obviously we know, but I mean, Hooker was there, Curse was there last year. So, I mean, most of the guys that are
Hooker,
have a lot of production have been there, most of them. Coaches have been there, so I think everything's relevant.
My God, it's terrible to hear him. Know how he kind of left out Dak? By the way,
yeah, the guy is the quarterback, most important player on the field.
It's like he's going through people I haven't even heard of. So the game today, how are you feeling about it?
Well, again, you can't get much out of that Pats-Jets game, but the defense for New England does look good. And I believe even with Dak, who played terrible versus Arizona last week, 1 out of 5 in the red zone, threw a crucial pick in the red zone. He hasn't been getting it done. I mean, he's only 1 interception on the year, but that was a big one. I don't know. I think the Pats defense is definitely going to keep them in this game. I don't see them getting smoked in this one. I think they're going to keep it close. The spread, 6.5, 7? Okay, I still obviously think Dallas has more weapons. They're at home. I think they're going to be upset about that loss versus Arizona. A lot of people were starting to buy into them, and then now all of a sudden everybody's taking a step back. Typical Cowboys to get in their own way.
Yep.
But I think with the playmakers, with Parsons on defense, Micah Parsons, you got to know where he is at all times on the field. Of course, Trayvon Diggs, the cornerback, he's out for the season with the torn ACL, so you won't see him on one side. You will see former Pats cornerback Steph Gilmore on the other side. But again, with the Patriots' inability to separate with their wide receivers, I don't think it really matters who's on each side for Dallas, because the Pats don't have the weapons with Schuster, who's been awful. He's done nothing. Parker, you saw Douglas kind of get out of the doghouse, made a couple.
They got nobody.
He made a couple of plays. I'm going to tell you, the guy that it's going to be a big game for, and it's going to be a sentimental game, is going to be Zeke Elliott, who comes back to Dallas after 8 seasons. He had a nice game against the Jets with 80 yards, and he ran hard. It looked like he found the holes, and he was very patient, but he looked like he knew when to hit the hole.
Yeah.
It looked like there was a little bit of burst in Zeke.
I'm not going to take that clip. Do you think the Patriots also do well in crappy conditions? I think they do better when it's raining out, when the ball's slippery. This is a dome, so I feel as though they'll be more exposed because if there's a sloppy play, they're going to get, Dallas is going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And, of course, Mac Jones, 15 for 29 for 201 versus the Jets, and that 58-yard touchdown to Farrell Brown, which I believe everybody said who.
Yes.
But, listen, this is going to be a game. I think it's going to be another grind-it-out type of game. I still think Prescott's got a few more mistakes in the arsenal there, and I think that the Patriots can exploit that. I think the way the defense has been playing,
excellent.
Hopefully, if you get Jonathan Jones back on the other side, the line's kind of coming together. And you mentioned Christian Gonzalez, who's been terrific as defensive rookie of the month. So that's a big thing for the Pats. He looks like, I'm not, he's not Darrelle Revis, but if he can shut down one side of the field, that makes everything a lot less complicated for Gerard Mayo and that defense.
Yeah, I mean, he shut everybody down. Just thinking of the Miami game and how they held them to so many points when we'll talk about Miami scoring, as you said, 70. How many cup flicks do you think Mac Jones is going to do in this game? Is he just going to go after the guys with no cups on? I just assume that guys who play football would want to protect, the goods.
He's getting a little bit of a rep.
He is. So now they have a highlight reel of him playing dirty. But are we just going after him because of that situation? I don't know. I'm pretty sure at one time or another, Tom Brady probably did a little try and trip somebody. But I guess if you're Tom Brady, you can do whatever you want. Mac Jones is still have yet to proven anything.
This kind of goes back to last year, though. He's done this a few times now, so it's getting a little bit tiresome. And I think it's much to do about nothing. I think everyone's making a little bit too much out of it.
Right.
Sauce Gardner, who got toasted on that touchdown, he should be more worried about covering the third tight end,
right,
than worrying about whether he got one in the nads or not. Right.
But to me, it just seems like, all right, don't be this is where his little tennis boy, little bratty attitude.
Spoiled little kid.
Yeah, he's just well, I'll do anything to win, and then I'm going to flick your... No. That's the lowest thing you can do to a guy,
but
right?
You have to watch the footage, too, because when you saw it in live time, I mean, it looked like he was getting tossed every which way. He was tossed around, and there was a lot of moving parts. No pun intended, but I mean, there was so...
Wait, can I just play you? Because no one's answering the cup flick. Or what do they call it? The cup check? I think it's yeah. But there was Andrews, Hunter Henry, and Mac Jones when asked about the incident. I just got this one more clip.
Well, I mean, look, I haven't really looked at it that much. I was in the middle of a dog pile. I had about 12 other guys laying on top of us after the quarterback sneak, so I didn't really see anything. So you could ask Mac about that.
I'm focused on the Cowboys, honestly. We're just trying to focus on this week. That was in the past, so just focus on what we got to do this week.
Yeah, I think, like I just said earlier, just really focus on the Cowboys. As you can see, just trying to prepare for a good defense, and that's my focus, trying to control the controllables, and I'm looking forward to just building this week. We got practice today, got practice tomorrow and Friday, so primetime game in a great stadium with a great football culture. So that's what I'm kind of looking forward to.
And that's brought to you by Flonase. Get some spray in that nose, you congested little thing. All right, so anyway, that I just had to get that out of the way because that was a big topic this week with Mac Jones.
Just one other thing. We talk about Christian Gonzalez. He had a great first month as a rookie. 16 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 INT. Terrific. I think receivers that he's covered so far are averaging about, 36 yards per game. That's terrific when you're taking Tyreek Hill. You've got Devontae Smith. I mean, he's covered some good receivers in the first 3 weeks, so you give him a lot of credit for that. But this is a big challenge on Sunday when C.D. Lamb, the Patriots go to Dallas to face C.D. Lamb, who's got 19 catches already with 273 3 yards. He's a difference maker. He's terrific. So another challenge for the young kid, and it's a long season. So we'll see how this all plays out. But you got to get ready for the next guy. It's going to be interesting to see. Be nice to have Jonathan Jones back on the other side. So
it's nice to have a little award in your cap. I mean, that's going to give you more confidence.
Yeah.
And I do feel like Gonzalez and Lamb are kind of built the same. So I think that would be interesting to see them go up against each other. But I mean, the fact if he just plays like he's been playing the entire time, I think we could keep the Cowboys down to 20, 30 points.
Listen, we've picked on Bill a lot for drafts and draft bust, but I mean, this kid at 17 looks like the real deal. And I mean, it's early in the season, but it looks like they may have a gem there. And obviously, Bill's has had a propensity to do a nice job on drafting defense.
Yes,
offensive skill plays not so well. So it looks like he hit it out of the park again at least on defense.
All right, so that's going to be happening today. Do we have anything else you want to say about Dallas, or do you want to put in your votes?
I just like I said, I looked at them after 2 weeks. I mean, I know in the preseason I had them that mocked as a game that the Patriots could go in there and win.
Yeah.
And then after seeing them for 2 weeks, I said no shot because they look great. And then after seeing them last week in Arizona, I mean it's on the table. It's there for the Pats, and it would be a signature win. And if you're going to get to if you're hoping to still have a season and get to 10 wins somehow, this is a game that you got to grab on the road because now you come back the next week. You got New Orleans at home. Now you can get rolling a little.
Yeah.
Kaz out.
Yep.
Could be Jameis Winston. We don't know how that's going to play out. But this is a signature win, and Max still doesn't have a signature win. A win that you could say in his first 2+ seasons. Hey, how about that day? Now he faced Dallas a couple of years ago. They took it to overtime and lost at Foxborough, but he hasn't had that signature win or a comeback win or something where you could really put your finger on and say this was the day. This was the day where it all turned the corner. Yeah.
I do feel like Dallas is going to come back like Kansas City came back after losing to the Lions. Like I think they're going to be at home and they're going to just go completely buck wild. Although obviously I'm picking the Cowboys to win straight up, but I may pick the Patriots with the spread. So we can talk about that later in my gambling process.
Oh.
All right, so we're done with that. Let's thank our sponsors, and then we're going to go around the league, okay? Want to thank our sponsor, Prout Mechanical, located in Providence. You can call them up at 401-487-4343. Even visit them online at ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com. They're a family-owned company. They have over 20 years of experience. They're a Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Diamond Elite contractor. They have the heat pumps, the mini-split ductless systems, and if you're looking to heat up your home, the mini splits are the way to go. They're located in Providence and they service all of Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. They offer services for residential and light commercial. So if you are looking at getting those heat pumps or mini split ductless systems, may I recommend Prout Mechanical in Providence. Their motto, quality and customer service is their top priority. Call them up 487-4343. We also want to thank Second Time Around Sports. This week is going to be a little bit warmer, so you may not be thinking of winter weather, but they got all the winter weather sports because the snow is going to be coming this season. So get ready for ski and snowboarding season. They're fully stocked. And as always, they have every sport, including hockey, soccer, football, and always golf. And speaking of golf, if you want to head to their Wakefield location, which is absolutely gorgeous, brand spanking new, they have a golf simulator and shooting room for hockey. And as I mentioned, they have 2 shops, one in Cranston, one in Wakefield. And they're both filled with new and used gear. And of course, if you want to see anything in the footwear department, I was on Instagram the other day. They have a whole wall of cleats, shoes, whatever you need. And if you maybe play lacrosse or you have a baseball glove that needs to be restrung, they sharpen skates and they re-grip golf clubs as well. So I know Top Golf will be opening soon enough. Maybe you want to bring your own clubs. Maybe you should go to Second Time Around Sports and get hooked up.
Absolutely. And by the way, I was at PJ's the other night.
Yes.
And one of our loyal listeners, Steve, good guy, he actually said that by listening to the show, and I'm sure he's already heard of Second Time Around Sports, but it prompted him to go in and get a club.
Oh,
so he
beautiful.
said he just want to let you know. I went in there and first thing he said was, came in, listened to heard the show, and he kind of, connected the dots. Yeah, so he said he went in and got a putter or a wedge or something.
Yeah,
so
well, either way,
everything, they got it all.
We appreciate Steve, and we appreciate Second Time Around Sports. If you want to see what they have in store, just visit them on social media, the number 2X Around Sports. All right. Let's go around the league. Do you want to talk anything about the Thursday night game, which I didn't pick because I was out? Detroit at Green Bay. Detroit manhandled them.
Well, I mean, of course you saw Jordan Love, who I think is still going to be a terrific player.
Yeah.
Not in this game,
Nope.
okay? But you saw last week against New Orleans bringing them back from 17 down in the fourth quarter. Impressive.
Yes.
You saw the Jordan Love on Thursday night that looks like he's still raw and needs to play more football.
They were getting booed at halftime.
Yeah, that's a little harsh there because
I think so.
Green Bay's been okay. They're 2-2 right now. Let's flip it over to Detroit. Let me tell you something. They got a nice squad this year, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff's he's taking care of the football. He's not turning it over. They let DeAndre Swift go to Philadelphia, which has been a good move for Philadelphia, but they plugged in David Montgomery, who they got from the Bears.
Yes,
Three touchdowns on Thursday night. There was some questionable play calling in this game. LaFleur was kind of like crabby after the game. Didn't like some of the questions that were asked by the media.
Mm-hmm.
Suck it up. You got a young quarterback. You moved on from Rodgers. It's going to take time. But I like what Detroit's doing. And Soup Campbell at 3-1. They've burnt me a couple of times, but I think that they're a really good team, and I think they got a good chance to win that division.
Yep.
Now, if you want to take it a step further, you may be asking me, and we reserve judgment here as the season goes on. Are they a contender in the NFC? When we're talking about the division, yeah, okay. Am I talking about them and putting them up there with San Francisco and Dallas and the teams in the West like Philly?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
But I do like
a second tier almost.
Yes, I do like the way they're trending. I think I don't want to say for real. I think they're like a year away from being a team that could take it to the Super Bowl. But I think that they're only going to get better. And I think Campbell is the guy. And he we saw him on Hard Knocks a couple of years ago. F-bomb city. But when you go out and you're 3-14, nobody cares.
Right.
But it looks like this team's turning the corner. And I think they're going to have a really good season.
And back to LaFleur, I do feel bad, but when they did come back, from Green Bay came back to win, you also have to remember Derek Carr was out of the game for most of that second half. So it's like the offense for New Orleans wasn't really putting anything up after he got out of the game.
Yeah.
So I think he's in good shape. I think Love is going to be all right. I think they'll be like a 500.
I agree with you. And, of course, they're struggling on that offensive line. The guy, David Bakhtiari, he went on IR. He's the kid veteran that actually Aaron Rodgers was hoping that was going to get traded from Green Bay to the Jets to help out that offensive line. He stayed with Green Bay. He's been battling injuries the last couple of years. He goes on IR. They don't know if he's going to even be coming back. So that's definitely a void there on the offensive line. So Love's going to have to figure it out. And it's going to be an up and down season for Green Bay, but I think they're still going to be very competitive.
They'll be contenders. All right. So let's go into the game. 9:30 this morning. I love some early morning football where we have Atlanta and Jacksonville. They're in London and they're going to play a game, and Jacksonville is giving them 3, considered the home team, which obviously no one's home there. But
all right.
Atlanta and Jacksonville. I really need to pay attention because I need to win some money. So it's all on you, bro.
It's all over the chat. Well, I'm not blowing off my playoff game for this game, okay? No offense. I'm not blowing off my game. I got to go to Swansea. Atlanta at I guess you could say at Jacksonville. It's sort of a neutral site here.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you, all kidding aside, Jess. I told you about Atlanta. I love the rookie Bijan Robinson. They did come back to earth. They lost their first game. They've had a hard time with their pass rush, even though I do like their defense. I'm disappointed so far with Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville losing to the Texans. And congratulations to DeMarco Ryans. He gets his first win as a head coach. But I was very, very surprised that they just look flat and they have a hard time beating Houston for some reason. It's been sort of their kryptonite. But Lawrence has been a disappointment so far. The team has been disappointing. But I think I told you Calvin Ridley's going to get going soon.
Yeah.
He's the wide receiver. I like to see him get around 100 yards this week. Lawrence throw a couple of touchdowns. I think they'll be okay. I am going to take Jacksonville in this game.
All right, Jacksonville it is, and they're giving 3. Miami at Buffalo. Buffalo's giving them 2.5. I can't wait to watch this game. I think it's going to be great.
I've tried to pick it to have it ready for the show, and I can't pick it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm struggling because obviously you're thinking about Miami. All right, they're on the road, but they just dropped a 70 bean.
Right.
And they made it look easy. I mean, they were just
it was against the Broncos, so let's not.
Yeah, but Tua is off the charts right now. It's just, and they're running the ball with Rashad Mostert.
Yep.
He's been pounded.
He had 3 touchdowns or 4?
I think he had 4. I think Buffalo's going to have a hard time stopping the run.
Right.
He's been terrific. So, I mean, he came over from San Francisco a couple of years ago. He basically ran them into the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, so he can run.
Yeah.
But I've had a hard time picking this game. Josh Allen needs this one.
Yeah.
This is a game, because now you're looking at like Buffalo, of course, New England for years, they ran that division. But the last 3 years, it's been Buffalo. Buffalo's already saying, all right, like, here comes Miami looking to upend us. So, like, you don't want to lose that spot. So, Miami coming in at 3-0. Buffalo at 2-1. I've had a hard time picking this one. I'm just going to leave this one up to you.
Oh, come on!
I got to be honest. I want to say Buffalo because just give them a little nod because they're at home and But Miami's hard to pick against a team that dropped 70. I don't care who it was against.
I know. I get so nervous with Tua getting a concussion though. Like every game's a gamble.
Well, I mean, if it's a grinded out game, they've got the backup too. White can play.
I'm going Miami. I'm putting it in.
Oh, wow.
I highlighted. All right, Denver
Go
at
with the
Chicago. Denver at Chicago. 2 suck teams. Chicago getting 3.5.
All right, so let's see. The 1 o'clock game, Chicago and Denver. I wish I had a double header because I'm definitely not watching that game, okay? So if I was at a bar and they had every TV with every game, that's the game I'm not watching, okay?
Just turn off the TV.
Russell's already 0-3, okay?
Wow.
Sean Payton's talking the talk and he's not walking the walk.
No.
On the flip side, even though it's at Chicago, Soldier Field, they've been awful fields. And I told you they were going to get blanked by KC. It was close.
Yes.
I said they were going to get drubbed. I said they may not score 40-10, 41-10. Wow. God. I got to. Here's another one. I just.
They're back to back.
You got a coin to flip on this one.
Do I?
All right. Well, someone has to get their first win. Unless it. I'm gonna. You know what, Jess? Just for fun. This one ends in a tie. Nobody wins this one. They both stink on ice.
And so do their fans. I'm
And
gonna write
they're
tie
already
in there.
fighting it out for the Caleb Williams from USC. They're fighting it out for the number 1 pick.
Well, I don't know. These number 1 picks aren't proven to be too much, actually, as
True.
they get into the professional leagues. All right. So Baltimore, very big disappointment for me last week, taking on Cleveland at Cleveland. Cleveland giving them 3.
Yeah, and of course, I got hosed in my suicide pool, as you would call it. I'm already out of that, by the way, after, 3 weeks? I should have picked Baltimore, you'd figure Indy,
Of
Baltimore.
course.
Minshew was playing, even though
Yeah.
he's a pretty good backup
Yeah,
quarterback.
clearly.
But Tucker missed a field goal. He never misses.
I know.
And I'm not really a Baltimore guy. At Cleveland, I saw Deshaun Watson make some strides.
Yes.
And I love that front line. I love Myles Garrett on the front for Cleveland. I love their defense. Obviously, Chubb's out, so they're not going to run the ball as effectively, but Watson looked like he stepped up and made some plays. I'm going to take Cleveland in this game at home.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I am.
Okay, well, hopefully they'll win some money on that one.
Oh,
Cleveland,
wow.
well, I'm not going to go with Cleveland. You think they're going to win by more than 3?
Yeah, I don't. When you talk about small spreads, I'm going with the team I like. I'm not worried about 3 spot. It's
all right. Well, I mean, I am because I got $11 riding
keep
on it.
forgetting I'm worried about your pocket.
That's
over
right.
here.
Come on,
All right.
bro.
All right.
We got Cincinnati at Tennessee. Tennessee getting 2.5. Cincinnati bounced back a little bit. Although on Monday night, I don't really remember watching the game because we were at PJ's.
Well, it was a grinded out game for Joe Burrow, and of course that calf injury looks like it's going to linger all year.
Yeah.
I like Burrow on the road in this game. I think he gets it going with Chase. They run the ball with Mixon, and I think Tennessee just looks slow and old, and Henry's not really tearing it up. I don't care where that game is. I'm taking Burrow again. I'm going to keep riding Burrow till I can't.
All right, we got the Rams at Indy taking on the Colts. Even game. Actually, I think that changed, but it's like either even or 1. Like it's nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
So of course Gardner Minshew was a terrific backup quarterback. He got a big win versus Baltimore, and in this one they're at home. The Rams, Matthew Stafford comes in. That's a team, obviously Kupp's not going to be back till like another couple of weeks, but they got a rookie receiver that's been kind of tearing it up pretty good. So I'm going to take Matthew Stafford and the Rams on the road in this game.
Good. That's what I picked. Perfect. Tampa Bay, they didn't do much against the Eagles on Monday night. They're at New Orleans. New Orleans giving them 3. You said earlier Derek Carr is not going to be playing, so who do you think is going to win this game?
Well, I'll tell you, it could be a payback game for Jameis Winston. He started his career as the number 1 pick, came from Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So this could be a game where he says, I want to stick it back to my old team and show them that I can still play. It's obviously a home game for New Orleans. Tampa, I think Mayfield had a couple of nice wins.
Yeah.
Now they go on the road. I'm going to take New Orleans with the backup in this game at home. I love their defense. They've been playing well.
All right, Washington at Philly. Philly giving them 8.5. I mean, obviously, it's pretty easy. We're going with Philly on this one.
We're going with
but
Philly, and I think Philly. It's a lot of points, but I think they can cover it too. I think the kid Sam Howell's going to be running for his life in this game. Jalen Carter off the edge, the kid out of Georgia. I love the defense of Philly. I don't think their offense has gotten going yet. Hurts will get it going, and I still think Washington, even though they started out 2-0, they're back to earth.
Minnesota at Carolina. Minnesota giving them 4 points. So I'm like, Minnesota, they have to win. Like they 0-3,
we said that
right?
last week.
I know.
They have to win. They have to win. They have to win.
You think Carolina can beat them?
Another loss? They're 0-4, and you're talking about trading Kirk Cousins to the Jets. I'm just saying.
True.
I mentioned that, and it's been mentioned a few times.
Do it.
But Minnesota on the road, yeah, they do need a win, and of course Carolina, they have the number 1 pick, Bryce Young. He will not play in this game. The Red Bullet, Andy Dalton, will start at quarterback. Okay, so
what's going on with?
Bryce Young's got an injury. He's been out. He didn't play last week either, so he's been
that's
out.
right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say Cousins gets off the schneid here, and Minnesota saves their season. Justin Jefferson looks a little perplexed and a little upset about the talk about trades and all that. He's saying, well, we still have a season right here. Well, improve it. Go out and win a game.
Yeah, I know, and he is so talented.
He's great.
Pittsburgh at Houston. Pittsburgh giving Houston 3 points. Houston, as you said, I can't believe they ended up winning last week, but they did. So how do you feel about them and Pittsburgh? I feel like it's a Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, I think that's a Pittsburgh type game. And just because, Houston's Houston, they did get their first win. Congratulations again to DeMarco Ryans. He wins his first game as a head coach. And of course, I like C.J. Stroud, the number 2 pick out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. He can throw it,
He's
okay?
talented.
But just because they're Houston, they're not winning 2 in a row. I'm going to take Pickett to Pickens again on the road in this one. I'll take the Steelers.
Very good. Vegas at the Chargers. The Chargers giving Vegas 5.5. So is Jimmy G, is he concussed?
He was in protocol a couple of days ago, so whether he plays, it could be a game-time decision. By now, you'd probably know that. Let's hope that we don't have to see Brian Hoyer in this game. But they are the road team, and I think that even though I'm not a Brandon Staley fan with the Chargers as a head coach, I think Herbert, this is a game. This is
at home.
This sets up for a nice win, and they could cover in this one. I'll take the Chargers for sure.
All right, we already talked about New England and Dallas. Obviously, we're going with Dallas on that. Arizona at San Francisco. San Fran giving them 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and I think they should.
Yeah, they should. But, you're the one that likes to lay it in. Yeah, obviously, this is a no-brainer. We're picking San Fran to win the game. Give Arizona a lot of credit after blowing that 21-0 lead versus the Giants the prior week to come back and beat Dallas at home.
Yeah.
Dobbs had a nice game. They ran the ball with Connor. They looked pretty good. I'm still going to obviously take San Fran as far as coverage. Yeah, I'd say when it's probably all said and done, I'm not betting, but I'd say San Fran covers the 14.
All right, I like that. All right, I'm going to put a little star. And then finally, for Sunday Night Football, we got Kansas City at New York. Are you going to want to go for $1,300 tickets because Taylor Swift's going to be there?
Well, I know the numbers have jumped up, and of course, Travis Kelce's Instagram or whatever it is, 2 million. Great. I mean, listen, whatever works. I'm tired of hearing about Taylor Swift already.
You know who also is tired of hearing about Taylor Swift?
Here we go.
I courted my lovely wife for a long time. The last thing that I did when I courted at the time Jean Lavelle was take her to see mom and dad 5 minutes into the relationship. Hey, my name is Chris. You want to hang out? Sure, I'll hang out. Well, why don't you come to my football game on Sunday afternoon and sit with my old lady in the bar? This Travis Kelce thing was freaking, I can't take it. I'm enough already. All Fox cared about on Sunday was showing Taylor in the booth banging on the wall, and the mother was all annoyed and you saw it there properly. Oh my God, I can look at this. That mother didn't want her in there. She wants to enjoy her son.
That's a Mad Dog, clearly not a Swiftie, but you know who is? Yeah, so anyway.
By the way, don't be afraid.
Brittany Mahomes is friends with Taylor Swift.
Don't be shy going forward on the Mad Dog sounding clips. He's one of my favorites.
Okay, very good.
I'm not a big fan of many other people on the outside. I kind of try to perfect my own brand, but I'm a big Mad Dog fan.
All right, good.
High Heat every day on the MLB Network. He's got his own baseball show. He's got his own radio station, for God's sakes. But he's terrific. He's colorful.
Do you think we could work for him?
Oh, that's a lot right there.
All right. So anyway,
the game itself,
you're going for Taylor Swift. Okay, great.
I'm all set with Swift, and I'm all set with Zach Wilson and the Jets. And this is in the Meadowlands, but Mahomes gets the win easily in this one. I mean, the Jets defense could keep them in it a little bit, but I got to be honest with you, Jets. You look at that Jets defense against New England. I mean, New England only put up 15, but I'd be disappointed even as a Jets fan. I know the Rodgers thing kind of took the sails out of took the wind out of their sails early in the season, 4 plays in. The defense hasn't been great, and Sauce Gardner does a lot of talking, but he hasn't played well early in the season.
Yeah.
A couple of miscommunications on defense. They've given up some chunk plays, and I'm not really impressed with the Jets defensively as I thought. I love Quinn and Williams on the defensive line. They got some nice players, but I haven't been that impressed with that defense, and a lot of those guys came out and started to anoint themselves the next Legion of Boom, the 85 Bears. Stop it now.
Yeah.
How about win games?
Yeah,
win games.
That?
Make a playoff.
It's not going to be happening against
so
Kansas
I
City.
say the Jets drop to 1-3, and Mahomes and the Chiefs kind of roll on.
And the Swifties will be all set. Monday Night Football, Seattle at the Giants. It's an even game. I'm going Seattle.
Really?
No, you think No?
No. Oh, I didn't say
I'm going.
Listen, don't.
I'm going New York.
Don't unhighlight. You already listen. Stick to. You're
They're
going with.
putting up numbers.
You're going with Geno Smith. That's okay.
I can't believe this. Seattle's still going with Geno Smith, but they are.
All right. I say the Giants are going to. Dayball's too good of a coach. I think he grinds out a home win here.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take the Giants in this game. I think Daniel Jones. I don't know if Barkley's going to play. This ain't possible, but I'm going Giants in this one just to go against the grain a little bit.
Oh no! So now I gotta.
What do I always tell you?
I know. Stick with my pick. But my picks obviously aren't working.
I mean, I had someone text me the other day that's a loyal listener to the show. My buddy Flipper, who's out in Florida.
Flipper.
Yeah, and he said
That's why he's in Florida?
Do you pick these games spread or no spread? Meaning like you're kind of like struggling like with no spread, just to pick the winner. So, but you sound great. You guys are
A for effort.
You guys are terrific, but you
can't pick for squat.
I was gonna say you can't pick something else, but you already exploited me on social media all week. I got way too much buzz on that, by the way.
That's the beauty of it. Just because you pick your nose, we got to make sure that people know about it. That's how people tune in.
I don't think that's going to help me on the open market either.
They know you're a good sport, and that's why.
I am a good sport.
Listen. You're on social media. We're all over the place, so I think that was funny. You make some picks.
I need a good October.
You need to clean up in October, man. Our lives are depending on it, especially mine. Speaking of the other night, that's how we figured out that there was a slight pick in the video. We were at PJ's Pub in Cranston, and we went ham. I posted all the pictures on our Instagram. We got the honey buffalo wings. We ended up getting nachos with chili on top. We got the peanut butter jelly and fluff at the end of the night, which Jess was still like going crazy. We got sweet potato fries. And then I said, you know what? PJ's Pub in Cranston, they have beautiful new fall cocktails. So why don't I try all of them? Yep. So I had, I didn't have the pumpkin espresso because that was going to be too creamy for the end of the night. So that's next on the list. Apple Rita, delicious with the rim. Summer in the fall, delicious. Finish that down. The bourbon fizz, I had to wait on because I went back to the kettle. But either way, it was a great time. And if you want to have the best time with the most delicious food, PJ's Pub in Cranston. They got football Sundays, obviously, Bloody Mary specials, the $2 draft specials, and that's for today. And of course, if you want to cater for the game, PJ's Pub, they'll give you the best wings in America.
Of course, I always let you finish your live reads because you're terrific.
Thank you.
Let's do some clarification here. There was no we, really. I mean, we spent time together. It was you and little Jess had a field day.
Yeah,
I wasn't in on any of that stuff. I came a little bit later because I was actually out, trying to schmooze a new client, potential sponsor for keeping score.
Right.
We're always grinding here for the cause. So it's like I want to make that known, too. So if anybody ever wants to get on board, to contact you, not me. And then I'll go meet with somebody.
You do all the talking. I leave it up to you.
So when I showed up the other night, Angie gave me like a little look, like the way she looked at me, because I can't see, but even with my glasses on, it's awful. But I did not.
Great,
see,
I'm glad you're driving to Swansea.
I did not see you and little Jess at the table.
Yeah.
So when I came in, she gave me the little look, and the way she looked, it wasn't like she was trying to say, like, look to the. But I was like, I took it as like. Maybe somebody I don't want to see.
Correct.
And I got a little bit I got that little pit for like a split second, but it was you. I was happy to know it was you guys.
Yeah.
And of course we settled in and we had a nice time. And I did see some of your cocktail choices, but most of the food you guys had already hosted.
We totally.
I think you did the fluff and thing or something.
So good.
You guys had a nice time.
I didn't even want it. I was so full, and Jess was like, "We're getting it," and and I want to thank you for paying. By the way, that was so nice.
It was my pleasure.
That was so nice, and it's like
anything for my friends, my partner.
It was a great time.
You guys are good to me.
PJ's Pub. By the way, the Social House coming soon. So that's enough of that because we got to keep moving, and we're going to go to the NBA quick update, and we're going to cover that.
Jay, blockbuster deal that lands the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, All-NBA guard Damian Lillard. It's a 3-team trade that brings Lillard to the Bucks. Portland got a tremendous haul back, including DeAndre Ayton from the Phoenix Suns, Drew Holiday from the Bucks, an unprotected 2019 or 2029 Milwaukee first-round pick, and a couple of unprotected pick swaps. Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson, they go to a Suns team for Portland now. They're going to look to move on Drew Holiday. He could be a free agent next year. And so now Certainly, Milwaukee makes itself a favorite in the East.
Now, what was that all about? I thought Lillard was supposed to be going to the Heat. Like, I thought he was going to be with all his boys.
No, but, and I like it. Lillard wanted to go to the Heat. Well, he doesn't get to go where he wants to go.
Why?
Because it's not the way it works. They think they're all in cahoots with each other. It's not the way it goes. And I've seen these deals many times, Jess, where there's always a team that we never heard on the radar, and they go there. A week ago, actually days before he ended up in Milwaukee, there was a rumor that Toronto was in the hunt for him. I didn't see a fit there. He's going to go play with Pascal Siakam. That team's going nowhere fast, okay? But no, he lands in Milwaukee, and what does this all mean for the East and the balance of power in the East? You see now, of course, they become the favorite now. I love Damian Lillard. I like the fact that he's, he can score from any place on the court. Yep. But let me tell you something. People are going to say I'm crazy. The better all-around player left Milwaukee. Jrue Holiday's a terrific two-way player, one of the best defensive guards in the league. Getting a little long in the tooth. He's an expiring contract. He's in the last year of his deal. He's 34 years old. Don't be surprised if he goes to Portland, which he did go to Portland, and gets flipped to the Miami Heat. We heard that earlier. And don't forget, Boston could be in on him too.
Right.
He'd be a nice player for a year. Now, would that translate into do you lose a Jaylen Brown?
Or do you lose Derek White?
Yeah, do you lose a White? Or do you... obviously, they're going to want one of the bigs. We're a little thin up front, so it could be like a Rob Williams and picks type thing. No pun intended. Okay, as I went in the vicinity again, it's a niche.
When in doubt, don't pick it out. All right, let's go.
But right now, Giannis had made some comments recently, and I love what Antetokounmpo's done in recent years by signing the extension to stay with Milwaukee to win a championship in a small market. They're not a big market team, but now he's talking about another contract. He wants to see it. He wants the proof. What are they going to do to make this team better before I sign another contract? Well, Dame Lillard's a big move here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does it mean for some of the other teams? Now, the other teams, you're going to go Portland, who gets Holiday and DeAndre Ayton. I think Holiday's going to get flipped. DeAndre Ayton wasn't happy in Phoenix. He ends up in Portland with a bunch of young players. We're going to see how that all plays out. Portland's going nowhere. They drafted the kid Scoot Henderson, early top 5 in the draft last year, so they're looking to rebuild.
Okay.
So now they got a little cornerstone center. Ayton was the number 1 pick 5 years ago. For Phoenix, they already have the star power with Booker and Durant and Bradley Beal. So they got their big three. They were able to trade the center. They bring Nurkic in, who's been hurt the last few years with Portland, but he can give them a little bit of rebounding and toughness down low. And Grayson Allen is one of the dirtiest players in the league. He's always
Is he the Mac Jones?
He'd be perfect, like you said, with the leg out. If you want to take someone out, you just give Grayson a call.
I can't stand him.
But he'd be a nice bench piece for Phoenix because now they need to fill that roster out. They need bodies. They need guys that can play. They've got star power. They need a couple of guys, role players. Grayson Allen's a good role player. So this can go a lot of different ways. And like I said, it does affect Boston because now it makes Milwaukee stronger.
Yes.
But now if Holiday gets flipped to Miami, how much better does that make Miami? Tyler Herro would have to go back in that deal to Portland. So there's a lot of moving parts. We're going to see how this all plays out. But for right now, it definitely gives Milwaukee a boost, and definitely to have 2 superstars on the team. You've got 2 top 10 players. Lillard's a top 100 player all time in the NBA. He's that good. 32. You traded a 34-year-old guy and you're bringing a 32-year-old guy, so you got a little bit younger. But you're looking at a 2-year window to try to win it all.
Is the Bucks? I mean, they got the big guys, the top 5, the starting 5. What do they got bench-wise? Anybody?
Well, of course, you got Brook Lopez as a starting center. He's done a nice job for them. Chris Middleton, it's all about his health. Every year, he looks like he's getting old quick. You bring Bobby Portis off the bench. He gives them toughness. Devin Carter's another guard they bring off the bench. They like him. So Milwaukee's going to patch it together. They'll fill that roster out, but they're not a really, really deep team. Of course, I'm tired of Giannis's brother on the sidelines as a cheerleader. They gave him a uniform just to keep the brother happy. You got to keep the star happy, but no, he won't be in the rotation.
Okay.
But Bobby Portis is an important part of that rotation. Grayson Allen will be a loss because he's a nice player coming off the bench. And I know the Celtics went at him a lot defensively, but he's a very athletic player coming out of Duke, and he's been a nice role player. We don't have to like his character, but that's a good move for Phoenix if you're going to make that deal. But it's going to be real interesting. The East just got a lot better for at least for, like I said, for Milwaukee, and that doesn't help the Celtics.
No, it definitely doesn't. But if we get Holiday, but we couldn't just get him. We'd have to lose people.
Well,
so we wouldn't lose.
You got to make the money work too. You know what I mean? So contracts would have to work. They're already saying it would cost them probably like Rob Williams. First of all, I don't care about any draft picks. We just heard the sound from the talking about the trade broken down. I don't care about a 2029 protected first rounder. All right,
I'm living day to day at this point.
That's 6 years from now. Okay, I'm hoping I'm not like slinging vodka by then. I'm just saying. So we're not worried about draft picks at this point. I'm done with that. I'm not looking to get younger. The Celtics, they're all in they're in win mode right now, and it's the big three with Porzingis, Tatum, and Brown. That's what it's all about, and you're just trying to fill that roster out.
And you're not talking about Horford. Would they get rid of him?
Well, there was some mention, obviously, if they asked for Rob Williams, the Celtics would love to counter with Al Horford. I don't see where Al Horford fits in Portland, where Rob Williams is still a young guy, bad knees. His knees are 35, but he's only like 26. So like that Portland's not going to take Al Horford just to do us a favor,
right?
You know, and of course there's been talk about Malcolm Brogdon again. Of course, now they're saying they're going to keep him. He's upset that he was dangled in trades. Well, you couldn't lift your elbow in the playoffs, and you've bounced around a little bit.
He's not happy.
You're making $22 million to come off the bench. I'm like, I don't think I'm feeling bad for Malcolm Brogdon because you mentioned in trade talk.
But wasn't that the whole thing? Like they didn't want him to have elbow surgery, and he wanted it, and they said no, and now it's worse than it was before. Or is that not the case?
No, we're hearing conflicting reports. You hear it's not better, and then they're saying he's good to go. He's a full. I don't know. That one's just going to have to see how that plays out because I'm a little confused about that one.
He's not a happy camper, and
No.
I thought he was a good guy off the bench until obviously when it came down to being important. Is there anything else you want to talk in the NBA wise before we get to baseball? Because we got 10 minutes.
Oh wow! We got a blast.
Yeah, we got a blast. This is right. Here we go. So I don't have a clip for it, but discussions this week about Alex Cora definitely going to be back in 2024. And the reporter said, wait, do you mean, you're going to be back? And he's like, I'm definitely going to be here. I'm definitely going to be here. Did not specify, is he going to be the coach? Is he going to be the GM? But he's going to be with the Red Sox for sure.
Okay, those are his words, though.
Those are Cora's words. Yeah,
Meaning
until someone fires him.
Meaning I want to be back. And then, no, that's fine. I've already heard him asked about the GM position. Would you like to go upstairs and be the GM? He said, no, I'm still a manager.
Oh, okay.
Because I know he managed the Puerto Rican national team years ago. He was the GM of the team. So they've talked about that. He said, no, I'm a manager. I want to manage this ball club. I mean, they're limping to the finish line. They got 76. Today's the last day of the season. Baseball's over.
Yeah.
The team was awful down the stretch. They finished last for the third time in 4 years.
Thank God my Yankees didn't finish second to last.
Yankees ducked last, and I mean, it's been a bad year for both teams, but at least Judge hit 37 jacks in limited time.
I know.
Did you see what Garrett Cole said?
No.
About Aaron Judge's year, or the Yankees year? He's like, he goes, Dodger Stadium needs to get some padding, meaning if he didn't hit the padding and hurt his foot, could have been a different season for the Yankees.
Well, totally.
I think the Yankees were more than just a healthy Judge season away from a good season.
True.
And I think Boone should be, see you later.
I cannot believe it.
We'll see how it all plays out. But on Cora's side, like I said, he wants to be the manager. He does have a year left on his contract, but managers usually don't go into their, into that season as a sacrificial lamb. Usually you always have an extension.
Yeah.
So until they get the right GM in there or the right, chief officer of baseball operations, whatever the title is, we may not have an answer on this for a while. But I hope Cora's back. But right now, I'm a little wishy-washy on it because I don't know who the next guy is to run the team.
I know we're running out of time. Do you think Cora was the one that had something to do with Bloom getting fired?
No, I think it was clear that, Bloom did half his job. He kind of rebuilt that minor league system, but he didn't keep a good enough team on the field. So shopping for the groceries and trying to get these little bargain basement moves kind of backfired. It just didn't play out. There were some good moves in there. Yoshida, they're trying to say that there's another Japanese pitcher out there right now that they're going to go hard for. He's a guy that can, give you 200 innings. So they're going to be looking at him, and maybe that kind of entices an Ohtani to come over. So I heard one report saying, well, if they bring Ohtani in, they're in trouble because then, Yoshida's not that good in left field. So now you'd have two DHs. Figure it out. You can get Ohtani. I don't care if you stinking on defense. You got 40 jacks. I mean, Ohtani, of course, done for the season, but will hit next year.
Right, but
no
pitching. Okay.
44 homers this year and probably won't win MVP on a second to last place team.
Too bad.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate because he was a beast. Yeah. Let's talk quick. Kurt Schilling, I hate him, and I always did, and I think he's a punk, and I think that he has said what he did about Tim Wakefield and his wife. So the reports were out, Tim Wakefield suffering from brain cancer, and then revealing his wife is suffering from pancreatic cancer. So this is a couple that both are going through cancer together.
God.
Kurt Schilling takes it upon himself on his podcast to make it public. And he said, I didn't get permission to say this, but they wanted to keep it private. So now it's all out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Kurt Schilling did it because he wanted people to listen to his podcast and be relevant, or he says he wanted people to pray for them, and that's why getting the word out is, best because he believes in the power of prayer. So if they both do, recover, is he trying to get credit for it? Like, it all comes back to him. All I have to say is Jason Varitek's wife is unbelievable, and I love her, and I'm following her on Twitter because she said, F you, Kurt Schilling, that was not your role, or that was not your task to let it all out there. So I'd never liked Kurt Schilling, as you know, and this is just another reason for putting out like people's private business to the public. And the most important thing is, I think, Tim Wakefield, I always thought he was a great pitcher, a great Red Sox player. I just hope, everything works out for them. And I mean, so the prayers are going out.
Yeah,
but didn't need him to do that.
Number one thing is thoughts and prayers to the Wakefield family.
Yes.
And let's respect their privacy. I know it's the cat's out of the bag now. It's unfortunate that it went down this way. Schilling's a selfish guy, always has been. But, of course, me as a Red Sox fan waiting for a World Series, he brought it home in 2004, 11-2 in the postseason. There was nobody better. He brought it home for Arizona. The guy was a born winner on the field. We don't have to like him off the field.
No, he's a loser. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he did a lot for Rhode Island, too, by the way.
Back to 38 studios
great
again.
Guy. Great guy.
Beating a dead horse over here.
Yeah, ridiculous. Do you want to talk about Acuna quick?
Yeah.
Ronald goes. There it is. He did it. A 40-70 season and a season unlike any other in Major League Baseball history for Ronald Acuna Jr. Take the base and take a bow, number 13.
They love him.
Line drive. Base hit. Ronald's coming home. Safe. The Braves have done it again to the Chicago Cubs.
So, I mean, that's a good baseball footage to end on, that's for sure.
Yeah, and of course, I've been tracking this for the last month. Every week, I've kind of had a little something on Acuna Jr.
Yeah.
Coming off that horrific injury 2 years ago, you talked about him getting hugged on the field and a lot of things. But, I mean, the numbers don't lie. Hitting almost 335, 40 homers, 70 swipes. I mean, he's done it all. He's the MVP, running away with it now.
Yeah, now
beating
it's
out
easy.
Betts, and of course his teammate Matt Olson with 54 jacks. But this is Acuna's season, and I mean, really, like MVP, and of course the Braves over 100 wins. They're the favorites. They have home field throughout the playoffs, so it's going to be interesting.
Oh, nice.
And congratulations in the American League to the Baltimore Orioles, who were 25-1 long shot to win the division this year. They win the AL East. They got over 100 wins. They beat the Red Sox Thursday night to clinch the division. So the Orioles, congratulations. Brandon Hyde, he's been there through the bad times when they were losing 100 games every year, turned it around, and they won 100 games this year. So congratulations to the Orioles.
Very nice job for the Orioles. Do you have anything else for baseball before we thank our sponsors and get to birthdays? Because we got 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
All right, let's blast.
All right, second time around sports, we want to thank them for being our loyal sponsor. Both stores are fully stocked with every sport. And from beginners to professionals, they custom hockey and figure skates. They also have skate sharpening daily where you can wait or just drop them on off. Baseball, softball, they got it all done. I know the seasons are pretty much over, but if you need something for next year, or maybe you're doing some indoor batting, they got you covered. Both shops, Wakefield, Cranston, carry football, hockey, basketball, soccer, pickleball, and there's a big golf section. I heard that they may change the Apex building into a pickleball stadium in Pawtucket. They restring baseball gloves, lacrosse heads, sharpen skates, and re-grip golf clubs. So tons of stock, and especially for football and hockey right now. Follow them on social media, the number 2X Around Sports. Let's thank Prout Mechanical. Our sponsor, Prout Mechanical, located in Providence. You can call them up at 401-487-4343. Even visit them online at ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com. They're a family-owned company. They have over 20 years of experience. They're a Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Diamond Elite contractor. They have the heat pumps, the mini-split ductless systems, and if you're looking to heat up your home, the mini splits are the way to go. They're located in Providence and they service all of Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. They offer services for residential and light commercial. So if you are looking at getting those heat pumps or mini split ductless systems, may I recommend Prout Mechanical in Providence. Their motto, quality and customer service is their top priority. Call them up 487-4343. Let's go! Got 3 minutes. Go, go!
All right, October 1st, birthdays. Mark McGwire is 60.
Oh, Bash Brother.
Bash Brothers, couple of World Series. He went to the Cardinals, the whole thing, and unfortunately the poster boy for steroids.
Yeah.
One of them. But McGwire was great in his day when he was hitting bombs with Canseco and the Bash Brothers.
He got thick.
Oh, wow. Then he wasn't thick anymore.
Yes.
All right, Rod Carew is 78. Batted .328 for lifetime. Minnesota Twins, California Angels, 7-time batting champ and the AL MVP in 1977, an 18-time All-Star.
Nice.
Hall of Fame, he's done
number.
it all. 78 Rod Carew. Okay, Xander Bogaerts, former Red Sox shortstop.
Yeah.
He turned 31 today.
Oh my God, he's a baby.
Two World Series with the Red Sox, his rookie year 2013, and of course 18 when the Red Sox were absolutely dominant. Bogaerts, of course, left in free agency to go to the Padres. He's had a nice season, but it hasn't panned out for the Padres. Jimmy Carter. President Jimmy Connors.
Okay, like tennis? Or
no,
okay.
No, it's Jimmy Connors. I love you, though. All right, Jimmy Carter. Everybody probably doesn't even know he's still with us, but he just turned 99.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so he was the 39th president of the United States. Jimmy Carter is still with us at 99.
Wow.
God bless him. And one actor, one funny guy, one of my favorites, Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, I love Zach. Between Two Ferns.
So we're just going to, oh, wow. I'm going Hangover 1, 2,
Yeah.
and 3, and I'm leaving it right there.
Very
I
good.
love him. 54 years old, and those are my birthdays for October 1st.
Very nice. We got 1 minute. Anything else you want to talk about?
Let's exhale. Busy show, as usual.
I know. Once again, I want to thank our producer, Steve Cunningham, for getting us on YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube, Keeping Score with Jess and Dean. You can also follow us on Instagram.
Did I keep it clean today with the
Yeah,
nose?
you did. I'm so proud of you. Give it up for Dean, everybody. He did not pick his nose this episode.
Oh, this is...
No highlight reel for you, my friend.
A lot. We were talking about tomatoes last week. A lot of moving parts.
We're all over the place. And you can follow us wherever you find your podcasts. But yeah, I know we're always down to the wire because when we talk football, we're into it, man.
This is football season.
Yeah.
We're in the teeth of it now.
Yep, very good.
1 month already in the books.
I know.
We're in October.
Let's blast it out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. All right. So good luck today on your game.
Thank you.
And then good luck to the Patriots. You're going to need it. This is
boy.
Keeping Score with Jess and Dean, the Dream.